Good morning. Today we will be learning how to multiply and divide fractions. So the first thing you need to do is make sure you update your table of contents. That information is listed right above this video on your Canvas page. Once you've updated your table of contents, let's go ahead and label our page. Our title for this page is going to be Multiplying Fractions. And we need to set up our page. So we're going to draw two boxes at the top of our page. So the first one's going to be a little bit large. There we go. At the top, about like you did for your decimals last week. Okay, so we put a big box at the top. Then I'm going to go right underneath it and do a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to, the remaining section is I'm going to divide it into fourths. Like so. So go ahead and press pause if you need to finish setting up your notebook and setting up your table of contents. When you're ready, go ahead and press play to move on. So before we can even know how to multiply or divide fractions, we must remember how to change a mixed number to an improper fraction. So we reviewed this in your How to Enter Answers in Canvas video, but we're going to review this right now as well. So let's start with 4.5. So we want to make this mixed number improper. To do so, we need to multiply the denominator by the whole number. So 4 times 2 is 8, plus the numerator, plus 1, is 9. Now, how do we figure out the denominator? Well, we keep the denominator the same. So now we have an improper fraction. But what if we wanted to go the opposite way? What if we wanted to go from an improper fraction to a mixed number? So let's try 25 over 3, or 25 thirds. So we're going to read this just like a division problem, because that's all a fraction bar means. 25 divided by 3. So I'm going to come over here, 25 divided by 3. And I'm going to start dividing. 3 can go into 25 8 times. 8 times 3 is 24 with 1 left over. Now I'm not going to add a decimal or anything like that because we're dealing with fractions. So the number that comes on top, that is going to be your whole number. So now I have 8 and something. The amount left over, down here, your remainder, that is going to be your numerator or your top number. So now I have a 1 and the denominator stays the same. So we have 8 and 1/3. Now the last thing we need to review before we start multiplying is how to write a whole number. To write a whole number as a fraction, put it over 1. For example, 12, to write that as a fraction, we would just make it 12 over 1. 12 over 1. And don't forget, fraction form is A over B. So fraction form means we have a numerator and a denominator. So 12 would not be in fraction form, so to put that whole number in what's called fraction form, we must put it over 1. So once again, anytime in this video, if you need to pause it to finish writing, don't forget you can press pause. Now we want to learn our rules for multiplying. So I'm going to write 3 rules we must do in order to multiply fractions. One, it must be in fraction form. So that means we can't multiply with just 12. We got to put it 12 over 1. You want to simplify if possible. This is where you're going to use cross simplification. So to cross simplify, then you're going to multiply across. So if these were my fractions in numerator, denominator, numerator, denominator, you're going to multiply straight across the top and straight across the bottom. And then you're going to double check to make sure if you need to simplify, simplify again if needed. That is our rules for multiplication. So now we're going to try an example together following those rules. If you're still writing your rules, don't forget you can hit that pause screen. So we're going to start with 3/8 times 2/7. So if I'm looking here, step 1 says put them in fraction form. They both have a numerator and a denominator. We're good. Step 2 says cross simplify if possible. So that means any top with any bottom. Okay? So I can't do 2 tops and 2 bottoms. Any top with any bottom. So I look. The 2 and the 8 both share something. They share a 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I now have simplified. And I can multiply straight across. Straight across. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 7 is 28. It says simplify again if needed. I cannot simplify any further. I have successfully multiplied these fractions. Go ahead and press next to try the next example.